Welcome, everyone, to Conversations with Conexxus. I'm Linda Toth, Managing Director for Conexxus, and I have with me Gray Taylor, Executive Director for Conexxus. Welcome, Gray.
Hey, it's good to be here, as always.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've chatted on one of these, and I thought it would be good to have you back and just see what's going on and what's on our minds. I had an interesting thing happen last week, quite frankly. An Uber member, I use Uber a lot, and of course I get the promotional emails. And I had one from Uber Eats, and it was a promo for $15 off $25 of convenience. And I thought, oh, wow, I didn't realize they were delivering convenience. So I clicked on the app and I went to the convenience tab, and guess what? Walgreens showed up as the #1 store. And I thought, last time I checked, they're really not a convenience store. What happened to our members and our chains? So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It's amazing. What we're seeing is scale adoption of a lot of these third-party services. 7-Eleven's been doing some stuff with home delivery. Most importantly, Walgreens has been deeply involved in digital search, digital connections, selling online, and home delivery because, if you just walk into a Walgreens, they got the best real estate in town. Second thing you notice is they got 40 parking spaces plus a drive-through, but you can't buy the convenience stuff. But if you walk to the back of the store, they've got a pretty credible offer of convenience in 2 aisles. They've got soft drinks, they've got salty snacks. They do everything that short of serve up real food, but they also have these other things around it. You also notice that cosmetics is about the same size as the convenience section. But what they've really done is they've taken this, 12,000 square foot store, and they've packed a lot of reasons to go there, and convenience is increasingly one of them. That's traditionally known as your adjacent competitor. And I think sometimes we look at dollar stores and Walgreens and CVS as, well, they're not really competitors. What you're seeing is our adjacent competitors are bigger. They're centrally managed. They're not franchised. And so they're using their weight to interface to what's going on out there in the real world. And one of the things that we see as a huge trend in the whole idea of retail, especially when it comes to convenience, in other words, in the moment, things that I'm driving and I think about that I need and I know I need to go and get them, is the whole idea of voice search. And, traditionally we've been waiting for autonomous vehicles to come around because they're going to be so technologically advanced. I remember going to a seminar put on by the Wall Street Journal 2 years ago, and they had the CEO of Cadillac up there. He said that they're moving around 5 terabits of data in the Cadillac from 2 years ago. And so what you can expect starting now, cars are going to be increasingly connected. They're not going to wait for autonomous vehicles. So what really happens? If we look at our sweet spot, our sweet spot is what I call on the way or in the moment, where I'm driving somewhere and it's like, I could really use a soda. I mean, depending on, what your mood is. But what it is immediate consumption. I want it right now. That's something that nobody can beat us, because you probably, in a 10-minute drive through your town, drive by 2 convenience stores. So what's our challenge is this: how do we take advantage of the online connections that can be made to stores in the same way that Walgreens is using DoorDash to bring something to your house? What we should be shooting for is I'm driving and I say, look, I'm on my way to the office. I need a car wash. I need to get some fuel. I want a couple of energy drinks to take the office with me. Your dashboard comes back and says, well, we know one store on your way to the office where you can get that stuff. And by the way, would you like me to pre-buy it? Or would you like me to have that curbside delivered? We need to get in this thinking where your dashboard is going to become this incredibly intelligent thing that's going to be interoperable with you. It's going to use the 170 different search algorithms that are out there, whether it's Google, Facebook, Waze. There are literally 170 search engines out there that are aiming for this space. It's really daunting for a small and medium retailer to say, well, how do I participate in this? So that's something that we've been working with NACS on, and how we can identify that. And there's some solutions that are going to be coming out. But that's just step one. Albertsons right now is in a pilot with Google where you can drive and say, where can I get pie crust? And Google will come back and say, well, Albertsons has it. And where Albertsons is taking that next step is, you ask for pie crust. Here are all the pie crusts we have. Here's where they are in the store. And would you like me to just buy one and we'll curbside deliver it? So Albertsons trying to take it all the way back into the store to close the sale and deliver the sale. It goes outside then of DoorDash. DoorDash brings it to you. you're going to it. But it's the same process. And the other thing that's kind of unique about this is that whereas DoorDash can show you the stuff that you can buy, and there's a graphical representation, your dashboard needs to hear what you want and then figure out what that really is. And so complex voice searches are really the next frontier. How do I just do something really complex? And Google has enough information to triangulate to that one location. If I say, look, I want some sweet tea and I want some salty snacks, they're going to drive me to Walgreens, unless your store is in there and has a better position than Walgreens. And what that really points to is what we do for a living, right? Which is, how do I get consistent, pervasive data connections to all these external commerce engines so that people have a real-time view of what I sell? Lori Stillman is famous. She did a video. She went out to her local stores and she sat in front of an ATM in a convenience store and said, hey, okay, Google, I'm looking for the nearest ATM. And Google said, there's a bank down the street. Then she sat in front of the coffee machine and said, okay, Google, I really would like a cup of coffee. It's sent her down the street to the nearest coffee shop. The only thing that's going to come back and say, you're in the right spot, is if you say, I'm looking for a convenience store. And so that's really our challenge. Our stores sell a lot more stuff than people know. And I face this too. When I'm a jeweler, and when I'm looking for jewel pods in a strange town, I used to go up to the jewel website and say, they had this location finder. I was in Austin one time. I went to 2 stores that had never sold jewel in their lives. I was directed there. I finally went, okay, Google, where's 7-Eleven? Because I knew 7-Eleven had it. That's the last frontier for us in the digital space to connect with. But it's going to require us to have these really robust data connections. And we know Tesla, for instance, is looking for a series of APIs that can drop into our business and allow a Tesla driver to find chargers and then order sandwiches and do all the things that you need to do while you're waiting for your car to charge up. And the same with Volkswagen. One of our members, they provide the voice recognition engines for a lot of the OEM car manufacturers. So it tells you that they're putting the investments in there.
Yeah, so speaking of like connected car and dashboard commerce, our strategy conference is the end of this month, end of August, August, I think, 29th. And so we have a speaker, right? Carl Dunges.
Yes.
Can you tell me just a few minutes about that?
Yeah, so Carl is working for NACS on their EV project. How we bring order to this opportunity that right now has no ROI and is really expensive and everybody thinks is just going to happen. They all have said dashboard commerce is it. Being able to find your store, being able to know what's in your store, being able to open up a folio and buy whatever is in your store while I'm there doing the charging is really table stakes for them. And so what's really emerged here is exactly what we were just talking about. Before EVs, before autonomous vehicles and all this future stuff we talk about, we need to have those connections. And Carl's going to talk about what those connections really mean, how they are going to be used in the dashboard commerce section, how they're going to be used to drive customers to your location. Again, Lori's got some great data on all the people that drive by your store. How many people, I've heard at one point, around 30% of the people who visit your store are on their way later on in the day to go to a fast food restaurant, even though you might offer fast food. If you can capture some of that business, they're a tobacco customer. They never see the rest of the store. They just walk in, buy their tobacco and go out the door. They have no idea that you have a full kitchen back there that can, provide some really nice food. So Carl's going to kind of talk about that and how the whole ecosystem is really going to change, because instead of having people come in, fill up for 3 minutes and then leave, people are going to have to dwell in locations to get the full charge. That's just a fact of life. Is it 10 minutes, 20? We'll see improvements. But that's a great opportunity for them to go shop your store and buy stuff. They won't do that unless they know they can buy the stuff they need at your store.
All right, so the strategy conference starts August 30th. Carl will be speaking on Tuesday. And strategy conference is open to anybody, but it is limited participation. So if you're interested, go to the website or email us at info@conexxus.org and we can get you hooked up with those details. So today I want to thank Gray for chatting with me for a few minutes, and we'll see you next time.
See you later, Linda.